Okay, so now we are going to look at finding the midpoint of a segment. And so it's exactly what we said it would be. You're just averaging the x-coordinates and averaging the y-coordinates. So these are the y-coordinates. These are the x-coordinates. And remember, your answer will come out as x comma y. Your answer is an ordered pair. So really you have two numbers in your answer. Again, that's different from distance, which just give you one number in your answer. Interesting point real quick before we dive into the midpoint formula, practicing it. Can you find the midpoint of a line? If you think about a line has arrows on both ends that extend to infinity to the right and negative infinity to the left, there would be no way to find the exact middle of this line, because where is the middle of infinity? So the answer to that would be no. Alright, so here we go. Find the coordinates. So I'm going to write the midpoint formula. Midpoint equals x1 plus x2 all over 2, comma y1 plus y2 all over 2. And you will need to memorize both of these formulas, advanced for your quiz on Friday and regular for your next quiz next week. I'm labeling my points x1, y1, x2, y2, and we're just going to plug them into this formula. So x1 is negative 11 plus x2 is negative 9 all over 2, comma y1 is negative 4 plus y2 is negative 2 all over 2. So you work each side separately. You're going to work the x's as a separate problem and the y's as a separate problem. So negative 11 and negative 9, we know that to be negative 20, divided by 2 is going to come out to be negative 10. 2 goes into negative 20 10 times. Then negative 4 plus negative 2 is negative 6, divided by 2. 2 goes into it, negative 6, negative 3 times. And that is, left off a parenthesis, that is your answer, negative 10 comma negative 3. So now you have a you try. Go ahead and pause the video, try it on your own, and we'll come back and check. Okay, so I hope you said 14 as your x1 plus 7, which is your x2 all over 2, and y1 was negative 2 plus y2 was negative 8 all over 2. So 14 plus 7, that gives us 21 over 2. And negative 2 and negative 8, that's negative 10 over 2. We can actually take the right-hand side, the y-coordinate, one step further. 21 over 2, that's fine if you want to leave that fraction like that. If you want to call it 10.5, that's fine too. 2 goes into negative 10, negative 5 times. Your final answer would look like that. Okay, what if they ask us to find the coordinates of a missing endpoint? This time we're working a little bit different. B is the midpoint. B is the middle point. It is the center point. So let's think about what we have here. We have some line segment AC, not necessarily horizontal, but for the sake of just drawing it, I'm going to draw it horizontal. And B is, whoa, that's not very middle-ish, Miss Benton. B is the middle point. And we know that C's coordinates are negative 3, 6, and B's coordinates are 1, 2. The question is, what is the other endpoint over here? I'm going to show you the fast and easy way to do this, and then I'm going to show you the theory behind it. So let's start with fast and easy. If I want to find these, what I can do is stack them up. C, then B, then A. I could have done A, then B, then C. It doesn't matter, but they need to be in order. B has to be the middle one if you want to work it this way. Okay, and then I'm going to erase these letters just to so I can have some room to work with the numbers. What you're going to do is look for what was the change from negative 3 to 1. What changed? Well, I went up by 4, right? Negative 3 plus 4 would be positive 1. So if you add 4 again, 1 plus 4 would give you 5. So you're just repeating whatever change there was from the first to the second number. Let's go to the right-hand side and do the same thing. To get from 6 to 2, you subtract 4. So to get from 2 to the next number, you subtract 4 and you get negative 2. That other endpoint A, friends, it's going to be at 5, negative 2. So I'm going to let you do the U-try. Go ahead and pause the video, and then we'll talk about the theory behind it after we go over the U-try. Okay, so I stacked mine up. I hope you stacked yours up in order. Doesn't matter if A or C is on top. It does matter that B is in the middle. So I like to always put my question marks at the bottom. But from 4 to 4, we didn't change at all. So to get from 4 to the next term, guys, it's not going to change again. It's just going to be 4. Then for the right-hand side, we went from 12 to 11. Okay, so we subtracted 1. If we subtract 1 one more time from 11 to the next number, we get 10. So your answer would be 410. Okay, so why does this work? Let's look at the grid. Let's graph part A on the grid. Negative 3, 6, and 1, 2. So okay, so we're looking for, this is the actual endpoint, let's see, what do I have here? I have C and B. C was negative 3, 6. This was B, and A is going to be somewhere in this area. We don't know where, but it should be that the line goes through B and it goes all the way to some point A down there. So to find the exact location of A, what you're essentially doing when you do that left-hand change and the right-hand change, you're looking for the change in X and the change in Y. So the change in Y, you're looking at the slope, friends. That's all you're doing. We went down 1, 2, 3, 4. Look what we did. We had a change of 4 on the y-axis over here. Down 4. Then we went over 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's why we added 4 for the x's. We're changing in the x direction, a horizontal direction. So if you go that same amount down and that same amount over, 1, 2, 3, 4, that is your endpoint, friends. That's the location, which is indeed at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down 2, which I believe was our answer up here. So for a lot of people, doing it on the grid makes more sense to them than this stacking up the numbers and manipulating the numbers there. Whatever makes more sense to you. I don't care which method you use for finding an endpoint given a midpoint. All right, so just in review real quick today, if you want to find horizontal or vertical distance, you can use vertical distance. You can use this first shortcut. This distance formula works for distance between any 2 points. So, but especially diagonally.